Hey guys, it's Fade here, and today I'm going to be bringing you guys an updated tutorial on how to make a Garry's Mod Map 2017. Now, this was one of the very first tutorials I had on my channel. I actually think it was the very first tutorial, and it was very poorly made as most of my other tutorials since I was younger at that time and I didn't know what I was doing. So I present to you guys an updated tutorial on how to make your own map for Garry's Mod. Now, to get started, the program we're going to be using is Hammer. Now, if you don't have Hammer, it's going to be located in a game called Counter-Strike Source. Now, you need Counter-Strike Source for Garry's Mod's texture to work. I know there's a workaround for it, but you do need the game if you want this tutorial to work. So once you have Counter-Strike Source and you ran it at least once, you want to right-click the game, go to Properties, go to Local Files, and click Browse Local Files. Once you're here, you want to go ahead and click Bin, and you want to type up here, hammer.exe. This will be the program that pops up. You can open it from here if you want. I made a Steam shortcut just in case I ever want to make maps. I can do it faster, but we're going to open it from here since that's what you guys are going to do. So you'll double click it and you'll load it, and you'll see this window pop up. Configuration, you can see Half-Life 2 textures or the Counter-Strike Source textures. Gmod uses most of CSS textures, so we're going to click CSS, and when it's highlighted, we're going to click OK. Now you see the Hammer World Editor pop up, and it might take a minute or two to load if it's your first time. Once it loads up, of course, it's a blank screen. To get started, you want to go to the top left corner, click File, New. Once it loads up, there's going to be 4 blank boxes in the middle of the screen. The most important box here is going to be the camera view. These other 3 boxes are going to be what you use to raise walls, make floors, etc. So to get started, let's go ahead and click on this tool right here, which is called the block tool. We'll click on that, and we're going to go to the box right beside the camera, and we're just going to drag. I'm going to drag a little box so we can see it. Now, on the camera view, you'll see a white grid pop up, a white little outline. Now, to move for the camera, you're going to use WASD to move around, and to go up and down to look, you're going to use the arrow keys. So, up arrow, down arrow, right arrow, left arrow. So, using all these keys together, you can move. It's pretty easy. So, once you get the hang of that, you'll see the little box you made on the right box here. You'll see it in the camera view. Now go ahead and right click and click Create Object. This is going to make it a solid object so you can actually see the texture itself in the camera view. So once you click Create Object, you're going to see the texture pop up, and it's like a red box now. So this is the texture itself. You've actually made something here. But this is pretty large, and how do I know it's large? If we click on the Entity tool and we go ahead and click somewhere on here, this is going to be an exact player replica. So this is going to be a player spawn right here. But if we go and look, you can see that the player compared to the floor is pretty damn big. So we're going to go ahead and look on the grid. You can use your mouse wheel to zoom in and out of the grid. And you can see the pink thing is the player terrorist, the spawn. So if you want to move him, you can just click on him and go ahead and move him. We're going to move him to the center, so that's going to be the middle X right here. So once he's there, we can go at, we're actually going to make this smaller since it's pretty big. We're just going to make a little grass area for the house. That's all we're going to make today. So we're going to go ahead and click on the floor. And we're going to drag this from each corner, and we're just going to make it smaller. You'll notice the X is moving away, but that's okay. Just keep making it smaller till it looks like you're liking. I'm going to keep it about right here, and I'm going to move that X right back onto the player spawn. It might not be accurate, but it's close enough. Now, if you look on here, it's actually a decent size. So this isn't a grass material, though, so we're going to have to change that. So go ahead and highlight the object in the camera view. By clicking on it, go to the texture viewer over here, click browse, and search up grass in the filter section. Now you can choose any one of these grasses, just do not choose a mesh or mixed file, which are these ones right here with rocks and all that, because if you do that and you click it, it's not going to turn out to be grass. Okay, you got to know what you're doing if you want to use that. So we're just going to go and highlight it again. We're going to choose a normal grass material. We'll go with the first one right here, just the basic. And to apply texture, you click on the tool 2 boxes under down, the block tool. It's called the Apply Current Texture. Go ahead and click that, and you'll notice your texture will change. So now that we got our grass, we need to go ahead and make a house. But before we do that, we're actually going to make a skybox. A skybox is what makes the environment, what makes a sun and everything. Because if you don't have that, it's going to be all glitchy. When you look into the sky, it's going to be like your screen's frozen. So to make a skybox, we're going to go to the texture. We're going to click browse, and we're going to search up skybox. Now you're going to ignore all of these. You're going to go all the way down to the bottom, and you're just going to choose the normal 2D skybox. Double click that, and you can go ahead and move out a bit because we're going to make this pretty big. So you're going to zoom out on your right box right here, and you're just going to go to the block tool, and you're going to make a box around the floor you made. Now you'll notice it's the same size of the floor. This is how you raise a wall, etc. So we're gonna raise it so it's under and above our little area here. So it's a sky, of course. So on the bottom box right below the camera, we're gonna go ahead and drag it down, and we're gonna drag it up. So that's a skybox for us right there. If we go in and look, that's how big the map's gonna be itself. So the skybox will be that limit. So that's okay with me. We're gonna right click the box again, create object, and you'll see this pop up. And if you go inside it, you need to do something because you still cannot see it yet. So we're gonna go out, we're gonna highlight this box, we're gonna go to tools, make hollow, and we're gonna put 64. We're gonna click OK. Now if we go inside it, you can see we actually have a skybox now. So once we're playing a game, we'll see a sky and everything. So let's get making a house now. So we're gonna go click browse, and we're gonna look for walls. So let's go ahead and get some wood walls going in here. We'll make a little shack. So I found the material we're gonna be using, and it's gonna be CS_Italy wood 1. So we're gonna double click that, and that's actually gonna be the floor for our house. So we're gonna click on the grass, we're gonna go to the block tool, and we're gonna make a little platform on the grass. So we'll make it about the same length as the grass, but we want to make sure our boxes are small. So to make your grid have more boxes and more easier to build walls and floors, you want to go up to this tool right here called the smaller grid. This makes your grid smaller and it helps a lot in building. So we're gonna click that until our desired pops up, which is, this looks okay right now. We clicked it twice. So this basically allows us to move it shorter and bigger if we want to. Making the grid bigger makes your boxes bigger a lot compared to what we just did right here. If we go ahead and make it shorter to what we just had, you can see that you can make it smaller. So we're gonna go ahead and drag this about right here. That's a decent size. Now you'll notice that it's mixing in the floor on the bottom box. Again, just drag it up and move it up 1. We might have to make the smaller grid here. We will. Just move it up once. We still gotta make a smaller grid. It's alright. See, this is where editing comes into with the grids. So that should be okay right there. Yes, it is. That's perfect. It's red on the red line. It's right above the grass. So we can go ahead and right click on this and click create object. Now we got our wooden floor for the house, and now we're gonna get the wall. So we're gonna go back to material. We're gonna find a random wall here. So we're just gonna type in wall for the filter. I scroll down a bit and there's these textures right here. I'm actually going to choose this one, which is a concrete wall, and I'm going to make it both inside and an outside wall, so interior and exterior wall. So we're going to double click on this. This is our material. Now to make a wall, you're going to click on the base, which is the floor of the house, go to block tool, and let's go ahead and make one wall going across one little box, but we're going to put it outside the box because the red one is highlighted. We don't want to put it inside because this is the exterior wall. So we're going to drag it outside the red line, and you'll notice it is off on the grass now. So we're going to go ahead and drag this all the way down to the other side. And we are going to make it a wall now. So we're going to go back down to the bottom camera. We're going to drag it up so it's right on top of the red line. And we are going to drag this up, and we're going to use the player as an example here for the wall size. We'll drag it to about his head, but we'll make it a bit bigger, so we'll make it about there. We're going to right click, create object, and the wall is made. So that looks pretty decent. Now we need a door. We're actually not going to do the door until we get all the walls done. Quick tip, if you want to make the same wall size without actually having to move it again, if you click on the wall and go to block tool and actually do what you just did again, so you drag the wall, you notice it's the same size as what you just highlighted. This is useful for making floors and more walls, just a heads up. So I'll see you guys when I'm done making the walls. Alright guys, the exterior walls are done. Now we're going to go ahead and make the interior walls. So we're going to go to browse material, and we're just going to look for an inside wall. This one right here from CS Italy looks okay, so we're going to go ahead and use this one. Now again, we're going to click on the wall, and just so it's the same size, but instead we're going to put it along the inside of this wall. So it's on the inside, so we're going to drag, and we're going to drag it to the other side. And once it's on the other side, you're going to do the same thing, right click and create object. Now if you go down here, you're going to notice that the only thing you can see in the inside is the interior wall, and if you go out here, you can see the exterior wall. It's pretty simple once you get the hang of it. So we're going to do that for all sides, and I'll see you guys when I'm done. And I am done. So we have the interior walls and the exterior walls. The outside is brick and the inside is a drywall. So that looks completely fine. I like the way this is. So now we need to make a door. So how are we going to make a door? We're going to click on the exterior wall. We're going to click on a tool called the clipping tool. We're going to click on it and the wall's still going to be highlighted. Now we're going to go down to the bottom camera right here and we're going to find a spot we want the door at. So we'll put it right here, and you kind of got to play with it until you find the right spot. So right here, you can see the line. This is an okay spot. I like this, but you don't want to do anything yet. If you do this, you're gonna see a red line. What's highlighted in the red will get deleted. So if I push enter, that wall gets deleted. We don't want that. So if you want to undo it, you can either do edit, undo, or you can, for fast, you can do Control Z. So we're gonna click on this wall again. We're gonna make the same line, maybe in a different location. So to get rid of that, you're going to double click the clipping tool twice until everything is white. You can click enter and nothing goes away. You just splitted the walls. So that's pretty obvious how you make a door now. You're going to make another split until you see a door. So that looks to be an okay door size. And if you're not sure if it fits right, you're going to go ahead and drag your character or the entity you placed down. You're going to drag them close to the door. And you're going to delete that little marker, that little wall you made. So right click, delete. And that looks to be an okay door. It might be a bit too big, but hey, it's whatever. If you want, you can adjust it by moving this wall close or back. It depends. I'm just going to leave it like this. So we could actually delete him right now because we don't need him. We need him after, but we don't need him for comparison anymore. So we're going to do the same thing with the interior walls. We're just going to make the same lines. We're going to follow the outlines right here. Everything should still be white, so we're just going to enter. We're going to go over here, and we're going to click enter again. And we're going to delete this wall. And boom, we have a door now. So we have the interior and exterior walls. Now let's go ahead and make a door frame. So let's go to browse. We're just going to make the door frame wood. So we're going to go to wood. And we'll choose this one right here because why not? So we'll click on the wall to make it the same size. We're going to go ahead and go to the block tool. We'll go right here and we got to make it extending past the both interior and exterior wall. So like that. So when you right click and create object, you'll see, instead of seeing both walls, you'll see the wood frame. So we'll do that for the other side as well. If you want to make them more thick, you can by just dragging them like this. We're actually going to make ours thicker by one more block, so we're just going to drag them once. And that looks to be an okay door frame. Now we're actually going to make a top piece for the door frame. So to do this, we're just going to click on the door frame. We're going to click block tool, and we're just going to drag it all the way to the other side right here. So at least to the other side of the door frame. Now this is the problem right here. So we're gonna go to the bottom box and we're gonna drag this up until it looks decent. So that's obviously not decent. We're gonna keep dragging it up, and right about there looks an okay door frame. We want to make sure it looks even with this, so we're actually gonna bring it up just a bit, and that right there looks fine. So we're gonna right click, create object, and there we have our door frame. So if we get our character and entity tool and we go and place him down, he will fit into the door frame. That's perfect. Okay, now we're actually going to place a door. So we're going to go to the entity tool and we're going to place an entity down. Now you're going to double click on the entity and this little window is going to pop up. Instead of info player terrorist, you're going to delete that and you're going to type prop underscore and then you're going to click door rotating. Double click that and click apply. Now a little red box is going to appear, nothing's going to be there. That's because we don't have a model. So we're going to go world model, we're going to click browse, and we're going to look up door. Now let's find a suitable door for our house. So this one right here looks fine. We're going to do this one, and then we're going to click apply, and you'll see it pop up. So actually now we're going to drag this to the top of the foundation, the grass foundation, which is going to be right here. We're just going to drag it up above the blue line, and there we go. As you can see, these walls are actually too small. So what we're going to do is we're going to highlight all the walls. By doing this, we're going to do control clicking. So we're going to do control click, control click. We're going to highlight all these walls, not the skybox, sorry. And even this one right here, every wall you have, just highlight it. Make sure it's all highlighted properly. Now that everything's highlighted, we're going to go to the bottom box and we're just going to drag it to be as big as the door. So probably right about here. We'll make it 2 blocks higher since we got a door frame. Now we're going to move this door frame all the way to the top. So we're going to keep going. And it looks like we have a perfect fit. So now we can go ahead and control click both the door frame sides and make it as big to the top of the door frame. So about right there. That's fine. That's perfect. We're going to move the door into place now. So we're going to just go ahead and drag him in there. So yeah, as you can see, the door's a bit too big. We will make it smaller. We're going to match it with the door frame. Move it up once, and it's matched with that door frame. Now we're going to make the top of the door frame shorter. We're just going to shrink it to the size of the door, which is right here. Drag it down to that line. We're going to drag this door frame all the way over here, connecting to the door. And we will drag the interior and exterior wall and connect it to the door frame. Now we got a proper working door. Note you can't see the handle in Hammer, but you can see it in game and it works like a proper door. So do not worry about that. Now we're going to go ahead and put some props down. So let's go to Entity Tool. We're going to make an entity. We're going to double click him again. Instead of Info Player Terrorist, we're going to do Prop_Dynamic. We're just going to worry about dynamic. We're not going to worry about static props right now. So once you click Prop_Dynamic, click Apply. Go to World Model, and we're going to choose a model for what we want. So we're just going to get a table and a chair for this tutorial. So we're just going to search up table, and we will find a table that we like. I like this one right here. So we're just going to double click it, apply. And now you notice it might be through the floor, or it's in this case, it's actually not through the floor. It's above the floor. So we're going to see if we can move that to be perfect against the floor. Yes, we can. So there we go. It's actually perfect. It's actually touching the floor properly. Now, if you can't do that, it's okay if you have it through the floor, but it doesn't matter. It's just nice to have it if you can actually make it touch the floor perfectly. And in this case, I can. So we're going to drag this against the wall completely. Just going to drag it. Make sure it's not going through anything. And we are set. There's the table. Let's go and get a chair. So we're going to do another entity. Double click him. Prop_Dynamic. Not door rotating. Dynamic. And now we're going to click on Browse. And we're going to go to Chair. And this chair. Let's find a chair here. Proper chair. Where's the wooden chair? We'll go with this chair. We're going to double click it. Apply. Now, as you can see, this one is through the floor. This is a problem. You don't want your chair to be like that. So we're just going to drag it up. We're going to find the floor base. It's right here. We're going to just drag the chair leg. It's right above the floor. And there we go. Now, to rotate a prop on the right side grid, you want to just double click it until you see these two little circles. Not double click, I mean left click once. So you see the two circles and you grab one. You can rotate it either way. You'll see the arrow where it's pointing to. So we're just going to rotate it kind of sideways. We'll make it look slanted so it's not, you know, a Ken doll prop. And we'll just drag it in there and make it look like it's a proper seat. So there we go. We got our prop set. Now all we need is the roof. So let's go ahead and find a roof. To do this, we're going to go ahead and search up a roof material. We'll just take a metal tin. So we're going to find a metal roof. And for this one, we're going to be using the metal roof. This one right here. We're going to double click it. We're going to go to the block tool. Now, before we go to the block tool, actually, we're going to select the base of the house, the wooden floor. We're going to select that. Now we're going to go to block tool. Now we're going to completely go over all the walls. So we're just going to completely go over everything here. We're going to drag it to the other side. And instead of making it a floor, we're going to drag everything up. So instead of dragging up by here, we're going to drag it by the middle X. And this is going to move everything. So we're following the blue line here because for some reason it's completely aligned. So we're going to keep dragging it up. You'll notice the white grid's moving up on the camera view. So we're going to move it up to above the walls right here. So I'm pretty sure that's sitting on top of the wall. Yes, it is. So we're going to drag it up just a bit. Probably about, we're going to make it a noticeable roof. So we'll make it about right there. That looks okay. Now that's obviously not a roof. We need to make a better roof. So what we're going to do is we're going to click on it. And we're going to go to clipping tool again. Now we're going to go back to the bottom view and we're going to find the middle X. The middle X should have a blue line going through it. If not, you're going to have to memorize this. So we're going to follow this blue line and we're going to actually click on the blue line and we're going to drag all the way down to one corner. Now we're going to go ahead and left click the clipping tool until this side right here is red. We're going to click enter and you'll notice that is now cropped out. Now we're going to do the same thing for the other side. We're going to click clipping tool, blue line all the way down to the corner. Now we're going to go ahead and click it again. Click it again. This is red. Enter. Now we have a roof. Now of course this is a sloppy roof. You can go ahead and make a better material if you want. But this is all I'm going to be doing for the tutorial. If you come in here, you can see we got a proper house now. But we need a light. So go to the entity tool, go ahead and click on the ground, double click the entity, and instead of anything we did, we're just gonna put light. We're just gonna put a light. Now once we have a light, we can change the brightness and the color. Brightness is the color of it, so we're just gonna make this, let's just keep it a white light for now. Actually, we'll give it a orangish tint so it looks kind of realistic. And you can click apply if you made any changes like I did, and click cancel, and you'll see it in the ground. Now that's not where we want our light. We want our light to be about not to the roof, because there's different lights you could use. There's light spot, light dynamic. We're just going to be using this light, and we're going to put it right in the middle of the room, about where the X is, because this is going to light up most of where it is. It's going to light up walls and everything, so that's going to look nice where it is. So now we're done with the house. The house is completely done. We got a working door, a roof, we got walls, exterior walls, interior walls, a light, got props. Everything's done for the house. Now we need to make an environment light. Now this is going to make shadows and everything exist. So we're going to click an entity tool. We're going to place it down. Go to the selection tool. Go ahead and double click him. And now we're going to put environment. And you're going to find light underscore environment. Click that and click apply. You don't got to edit it. So go ahead and click cancel. And you'll see a sun pop up. Now you want to move him towards the top of the map. So go ahead and keep moving him. Don't put him past the skybox so I can see the skybox right here. We're just going to put him right below the skybox. That seems fine, so he shouldn't be out of the skybox. He should be right about under it. So now that's done. Now we're just going to go ahead and fence in this with a wooden wall. So we're just going to type in wood, and we will choose this one right here for a fence. We'll click on the wall to make it the same wall size, and we'll drag it against the blue line, the grass line. So I'll get to you guys when this is done. Alright, now we have our fenced in wall. It looks like a fence, so you can't see over it unless you jump. But even if you do, this is just a tutorial map, so I'm not going to do anything outside. So now we need to get a player spawn. So we're going to go to entity tool, and we're just going to click. Now that's going to make a spawn point, but just in case you want to be sure you're going to spawn in the right place, you put another spawn. You can put multiple spawns if you want to spawn in multiple places. So once you got all these done, you're basically done with your map. Now you can go ahead and click file, save, but I'm not going to save this. This is a tutorial map. Now you want to go down to run map, and you're going to have to save this. So I'm just going to save this as tutorial for YouTube, and you want to click save, and this window is going to come up. Now for run VSP, put it to normal. For run VIS, put it to normal, and for run RAD, put it to normal. And now if you want to run it in CSS just to see how it looks, you can uncheck don't run this game after complying, but I'm only making this for Garry's mod, so we're gonna go ahead and click that. So we're not gonna open CSS when we're done. So now once this is done, we can click OK, and this little window is gonna pop up, and it shouldn't take too long since it's a small map. You know it's done when you see copy to clipboard at the bottom. Now we need to look for where we saved our map. So if you go to file, save as, you can see where we saved it. I saved it in this PC desktop VMAX. So if I go to the VMAX folder on my desktop, I'll see tutorial. I should be able to find tutorial for YouTube, which is right here. You're gonna ignore the .log, .prt, and .vmf. All you're gonna worry about is the tutorial for YouTube .bsp, because the BSP is a map file. So you can go ahead and copy that with Control C and locate your Garry's mod folder. So mine's in local D, Steam, Steam apps, common, Garry's mod. Go to Garry's mod again. Go to maps and go ahead and paste that in there. So now you can start up Garry's mod and your map will be there. So I'll see you guys on Garry's mod. Note, you can also close out of Hammer if you want. So once you're in Garry's mod, you can go ahead and click start new game, and it's going to be located under other. So we're going to click other, and we will find our map, which is called tutorial for YouTube, which is right here, tutorial for YouTube. So go ahead and double click it and run the map, and I'll see you when we're in the game. Okay guys, so we're in the game, and as you can see, we spawned. We're in the corner, one of the corners I set. You can see we have the fence. I didn't set it long enough to the bottom, but that's alright. So we have our skybox, and we have the house here. So if we go inside and push E, you'll see the door works, and we got our light. We got the props, and the door closes. It works just like a normal door would. So guys, that's been the tutorial. If you guys like, go ahead and drop a like. I know you guys like tutorials. If this one was a bit sloppy, I do apologize. Hammer is very hard to learn at first and it can be very confusing, but once you start to learn it, it is pretty simple and you will get the hang of it. So I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.